In this AlignMix how-to video, you will learn how to export your data from the AlignMix software to Microsoft Excel. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. You can do it at the individual territory level or do an export for all of your territories all at the same time. So to start, let's do it at the individual level. So let's say we want to export just the data for this territory 308. You would right-click on that territory, click here on Export, and then click here on Export to Excel. You can then save this export anywhere on your computer and click on Save. As soon as you do that, the export process will begin and the export will appear on your screen once it's been completed. And here is our export for that single territory. The first tab shows you a full list of all the zip codes that are assigned to this territory. The second tab, when you click on that, will show you a full list of every account that is assigned to this territory, and will also include all the data that you've imported during your account import process. If you've created an index, that index will also appear, showing you what the index is per your accounts. So now let's close out of this view, and now back to our AlignMix file. So that's how you would export your data at the individual level. You can also export data from the lasso tool. If we lasso an area, lasso like so, I can then click here on the copy button and copy zip codes and accounts, zip codes or only accounts to the computer's clipboard, which you can then paste into Microsoft Excel, Word, or anywhere else where you can use the clipboard feature. So let's close out of this view. So now let's export all of our data that is found in this AlignMix file to Microsoft Excel. To do that, click on File, Export, and now Export to Excel. Here we can choose what we would like to export. So we want a region table, district table, territory table. We want a full list of our zip to territory assignments. If your company uses zip code ranges, you would use this option, and I'll show you what that looks like once the export completes. We want a full list of our account assignments and also an export of our personnel roster. So now click on Next. Here you can customize what that export will look like and then click on Finish. Now you can choose where to save your export. So click on Save, and when that file has fully exported, it will open up in Microsoft Excel on your computer. Here is the Excel file that we've just created from AlignMix. Our first tab is a territory table. It's essentially the same type of territory table that you can see in the AlignMix software. It gives you all of your data summed up to the territory level. It'll even give you a count of all your account segments, show you if it's contiguous or not, and give you the name and ID and assignments for each territory. Moving on to the district tab, very similar to what you would see in the district table view in AlignMix. It just shows you all of your data summed up to that district level. And then finally, let's go to our region table view, which will show you a similar region table that again you would see in the AlignMix software. All of your data is summed up to that region level. Now moving on to our fourth tab, the Accounts tab. Here we have all the accounts that are in our AlignMix file. If you've imported the street address, city, and state, that would also be included in this export. But in this example, I skipped those during the import process. You'll also see the segmentation that was used during the import, what your current assignments are for each one of these accounts, the territories that are assigned to, the district, and if those accounts are an override, which means this account is assigned to a territory that is not actually geographically located in. And here on the right side, we've got all the data sets that we've imported and also the index that was created in the AlignMix software. So let's click on the Zip Codes tab, and here we basically have a zip to territory file showing what our zip to territory assignments are in that AlignMix file. It'll also show you your district assignments, region assignments, assigned sales rep, and a count of all the account segments that are found in those zip codes. Now moving on to zip code ranges, many of our users don't use this type of export anymore, but it was once very popular. And what this essentially is, let's zoom in a little bit, is that your zip codes are set by ranges. So basically going in order and it's grouping that order together. And then it's giving you those assignments for that set range. So if you do use zip code ranges in your CRM system, this is how you would create that export. And then finally, we have our personnel roster. So any data that was imported or created in the AlignMix software is now exported. You can see our names and IDs and their job titles, home zip codes. If you did import their street address, phone number, and email, that would also be shown here. You'll also see if they have a direct manager, which is shown here in the manager column. If the sales rep is assigned to a territory, it will show you that territory ID here. If they're assigned to a district and region, it will all be shown here. What's very cool is here at the right-hand side of this Excel export. If your sales rep lives in the territory that they are assigned to, it will say yes. If it says no, that means that rep does not live and operate in the same territory. If it does say no, it'll show you how far that sales rep is from the outer edge of their own territory. And here in the final column, you'll also see how far that sales rep is from the workload center of their assigned territory. And there you go. You've just learned how to export your data from AlignMix to Microsoft Excel.